Before you sign the papers for your next Volkswagen, there's a dark truth hidden beneath the chrome and the German engineering. Not every heart beating under those hoods was designed to survive. In the world of VW, some engines are immortal legends, while others are meticulously crafted financial traps. Today, we open the secret archives of the workshop. We're revealing the 3 worst engineering failures that can bankrupt you, and the 4 indestructible legends that will serve you for a lifetime. Welcome to Wikivedia Plus. The disaster, the 2.0 BiTDI, the CFCA nightmare. We begin our descent into the worst of the worst. The 2.0-liter BiTDI, specifically the CFCA engine code, produced between 2010 and 2016. On paper, it was a masterpiece, 180 horsepower and 400 Newton-meters of torque from a small displacement. But engineers made a fatal mistake with the EGR cooler. The aluminum cooling fins inside the unit were not treated for corrosion. Over time, they oxidize and crumble. These microscopic shards of aluminum oxide, which are almost as hard as diamonds, are sucked directly into the combustion chamber. It's not just a failure, it's an internal sandblasting. The cylinder walls lose their honing, the piston rings fail, and suddenly, your transporter is burning a liter of oil every few hundred miles. When the compression drops from the healthy 400 psi to a terminal 80 psi, the only solution is a $12,000 heart transplant. The luxury trap, the W84.0L, the engineering ego. In the early 2000s, VW wanted to prove they could compete with luxury titans. The result was the W8, essentially to narrow-angle VR for engines joined at the crank. It was an engineering marvel, but a mechanic's worst nightmare. Because the engine bay of the Passat B5.5 was never designed for 8 cylinders, the clearance is non-existent. This is what we call an engine-out car. Want to fix a minor oil leak? Pull the engine. A faulty oxygen sensor? Pull the engine. The variable valve timing adjusters are known to fail, and because they are located at the back of the engine, the labor costs alone often exceed the entire value of the car. It was a boutique engine built with an expiration date, requiring a bank account as deep as a Porsche owner's. The persistent headache, the FSI and EA888 failure. The top spot for the worst engine goes to the early EA888 series, specifically the 1.4 TSI and 1.6 FSI codes, BEG, BLP. This was VW's first mass-market attempt at direct injection. Without fuel washing over the intake valves, carbon deposits build up until the engine literally chokes to death. But the silent killer is the timing chain. The hydraulic tensioners were prone to failure, especially on cold starts. The chain stretches, skips a tooth, and in a fraction of a second, the valves and pistons engage in a fatal collision. If you hear a rattle on startup, you are listening to the sound of a ticking financial bomb. VW's official stance was often that oil consumption of 1 liter per 1,000 kilometers is normal, a phrase that still haunts thousands of Golf and Jetta owners. The redemption. EA888 Gen 3, the 2.0 TSI. Now, we cross the threshold into the Hall of Fame. In 4th place, the EA888 Generation 3. After the disasters of the Gen 1 and Gen 2, VW finally got it right in 2013. They redesigned the timing chain guides, updated the piston rings, and integrated the exhaust manifold into the cylinder head for better thermal management. Whether it's in a Golf GTI or an Audi A4, this engine is a powerhouse that can easily reach 400,000 kilometers if you follow one simple rule. Ignore the long life oil intervals and change your oil every 8,000 kilometers. It is the modern gold standard for turbocharged performance. The addictive growl, the VR6 legend. At number 3, we find the soul of Volkswagen, the VR6. This engine is a freak of nature. By using a tiny 15-degree angle between cylinders, VW created a 6-cylinder engine that fits in the space of a 4-cylinder. It's heavy, yes, but it is built like a tank. The iron block is incredibly rigid, making it a favorite for high boost tuning. But the real reason people love it, the Wookie sound. That deep, staggered exhaust note is unlike anything else on the road. If you keep the cooling system refreshed and change the plastic crack pipe coolant flange, AVR6 will sing for 500,000 kilometers. The people's heart, the EA888 1.6L. The runner-up is the engine that made VW a household name, the EA888. This 1.6-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder is the definition of simplicity is genius. With a single overhead cam and a design that dates back to the 70s, it powered the Golf MK1 and MK2 through the most brutal conditions. There is no turbo to fail, no complex high-pressure pumps, just pure mechanical reliability. It was so good that even Chrysler bought these engines to put in their American cars. It is an engine that asks for nothing but basic fluids and will reward you with 600,000 kilometers of loyalty. The unkillable king, the 1.9 TDI, the all-legend. Finally, we reached the summit. The 1.9 TDI, specifically the all-code. In the automotive world, this engine is considered immortal. Why? Because it was built with a safety factor that modern engines can only dream of. Its rotary Bosch injection pump is simpler and more durable than modern common rail systems. It operates at low stress and low temperatures. We have documented cases of these engines crossing the 1 million kilometer mark on original internals. It is the engine that fueled Europe's economy, the engine of the million-mile taxi, and the reason why used Volkswagens with high mileage still command high prices. It is the undisputed king of reliability. As the echoes of today's story fade back into the archive, we are left once again at the edge of the unknown. Thank you for journeying with us to the fringes of history and science. If these mysteries resonated with you, we invite you to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing to our growing community of seekers. Share this transmission on your social networks. Your curiosity is what keeps these stories alive. We will return soon with another chapter that was never meant to be told. Until our next encounter, stay curious. This is Wikivedia Plus.